It's really live. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to make sure we live. Okay, we are live.
Hey,
And welcome to the stage.
thank you for having
Pronounce
me.
your name. So is it Lady?
Shael.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Shael.
Shael. Okay. See, I'm going. Thank you. Okay, we Lady Shael, and I want to thank her for joining in today.
Yeah.
This is Lupus Awareness Month, and we definitely need as much awareness that we can get around here. So I definitely want to thank you for joining, so you can spread some awareness. Can you tell us your name, where you're from?
Okay.
Oh, you
Well,
just said
first,
your name.
yeah, you're okay. But I'll just like to thank you for opening up such a platform to
Thank
bring more awareness concerning. So this is awesome. So thank you for having me as a guest. But
thank
as we just said already, I do go by Lady Shael. I am from Orlando, Florida. 41. Recently divorced with a 17-year-old and a 5-year-old. So this is my current life right now.
you said a 17-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yes, I did. Big gap.
Don't feel bad. I did the same thing. I got a
Yeah.
6-year-old and I got a 20-year-old and one could be 18.
So you understand.
I definitely understand.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, we thinking didn't have lupus. Wow. So
Yeah.
at what age did you find out you had lupus?
Well, the what's interesting is like when you kind of play back through your childhood, you kind of notice certain side effects or things that flared up because the thing about it is when I used to play basketball for 2 years, I used to flare up in hives. And, we just thought it was just, issues like a stress issue or, excitement. And that happened for like 2 years. No issues for a long time. It's not until I got in my 20s to where the hives flare started happening. And then, as I discussed with you the other day, when you talked about that little black spot, that started in 2011. And they never did no type of testing concerning, autoimmune diseases. They just diagnosed me with having a skin rash that's called lichen planus. And there wasn't much research on it back then. I recently Googled it when I was talking on Facebook with you, and I see they added more to it. So that's interesting that they're finding more out about it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so from 2011 until 2014, I just was dealing with minimal hives. And again, the black spot that started on my foot is spreading. So my feet blackened. I was barely able to walk. And so, like in 2014, I got real sick in August. And they diagnosed me with having um, bronchitis, asthma per se in August of 2014. So, of course, they sent me home on antibiotics with a pump. Then in November 2014, that's when it all started. I got real sick, was hospitalized about for a week. And that's when they had first diagnosed me with lupus, November of 2014. And along with that, they also diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis. So 2015, went back with more blood work and they said, no, you don't have lupus. You have mixed connective tissue disorder and rheumatoid arthritis. So they were saying that the mixed connective tissue disorder falls up under the umbrella of lupus. So so that's what I was dealing with. So of course, started on their meds. I'm not a pharmaceutical type person, so I was already kind of in my feelings about having to get on these prescriptions. But 2016, they came back again with more blood work. And now they say, okay, wait, you do have lupus. Plus the misconnected tissue disorder, rheumatoid arthritis, and now pulmonary hypertension.
Wow.
So it's been up and down since then, but it's been more up. since 2021 when I got in, 2020 COVID, the shutdown, it really changed me as far as plant based and things I do concerning my health. So when it supposed to took me out, it honestly ended up helping me with this journey and this walk.
That's the blessing. So you say you're on a plant-based journey at the moment.
Not 100% now. I kind of fell off a little bit. Yes.
Ain't never wrong with that. The thing is step by step.
Yeah.
Step by step. But it's good to hear that because some people kind of stray away, be like, regardless, we still gonna be sick. But gotta have some type of hope that something can, help change us.
Yes.
I know I've been doing my plant-based journey. I basically have been mostly raw for 60 days now. But for the plant-based, I've been on that maybe 2 years now. But it's definitely a journey. Like I was doing okay for a while, not saying the best, but now I've been like my body been flaring up a little bit. I can't say why it's going on, but we didn't get this way overnight. It's gonna take, what I'm saying, some time for our body to adjust to the right things in our body.
Yes.
But I definitely applaud you for trying to, get on that plant-based journey.
Yes.
Anything that you do that could help you cope with what you're going through with your pain. I just gotta grab some 1 second.
No, you're good.
Phone died. So I don't even see it. I guess can't worry about that. But yes, like anything else that help you cope with your journey with having lupus, what do you do like other than the plant-based journey?
Yeah, well, I started, like I said, the plant based started in 2020. So I do believe in detox. I juice a lot,
Yes.
omit dairy products because I did start following Dr. Stevie in the beginning because when I heard that he cured people that was diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, including lupus, I just got interested in seeing what his practices were. So I got a lot into the holistic type thing as far as like sea moss, again, juicing a lot, omitting dairy. I try to omit chicken, y'all, but that's been a struggle because it does create mucus. So I don't do those things as much. That's why I say plant based. So I tell people I'm probably about 60% I'll do plant based, 40% I still have that struggle, but it's getting better. And I also do a lot of I go to salt room therapy. I do massages because I deal with the pulmonary hypertension. Like I say, lupus can affect your lungs, and it did affect my lungs. Because matter of fact, I was given a life expectancy in 2019 of 2 years because of my lung condition. And I also have my faith. My faith in God. He's a healer. I was on oxygen for about 2 years as well. And that was just nothing but, it wasn't nothing but God who healed me from that. So that's how I cope with this lupus thing. I try to do stress relief type things. I go to the water. You have to take care of your mental during this time because a lot of our flares come from stress related issues. And you learn that. You have to learn your body. With this lupus, you have to learn your body before they tell you about your body.
I just said that yesterday. I told one of our other lupus sisters, I said, you got to know your own body. More than any doctor or anybody could tell you. Because if you don't, you basically believe anything they tell you. They tell you. I was on all sorts of medications, not really questioning certain things, But it seems like when you're on so much medication, you don't know what could be causing other issues. Come like, hey, so something just ain't right. Is this just lupus symptoms or is this some of the medication symptoms? So, it's definitely you have to question. You got to be your own advocate.
Yes, ma'am.
Most definitely. So, do you have a supportive system?
Do I have a support system? I would say I do, but it was hard in the beginning.
Yes.
This is where it kind of become emotional because, women of all color, but I have to say definitely women of color, Black women, we are known to just wear a cape on our backs, right? So when you have this life altering change, everybody's accustomed to see you just, striving, being this woman of strength and keep moving. So in your mind, you feel like you have to play that part out. And when
True.
you finally admit to saying, y'all, I'm weak, I can't, it's almost
Yeah.
like in the beginning, it kind of looked like as if you're just kind of being dramatic.
True, true, and people, yeah, you're right. Like that's what they look at you as, whether it's
Mhm.
family, friends, doctors, sometimes whoever, they be thinking you dramatic. Like I told them, I had a doctor that told me that they had to send me a letter apologizing because they thought them when what I'm saying, thought I was going crazy.
Yeah.
It's my doctor to find out I had lupus, and I was going to
Yeah.
doctors.
That's
So
crazy. Yeah. See, and the unfortunate thing too, I have a supportive system. They're getting more because it became where when they start seeing me on the oxygen, I think
yeah,
also just certain things when just to break down the hospital visits, things of that sort, the instant weight loss, when my eyes sometimes, kind of look like sunk in or however, it's just like,
mhm,
okay, something is going on with her body. So
yeah,
I definitely, the support system has become more supportive over the course of time, but I believe it was like that in the beginning more because they're used to me being a certain way.
true.
And so that was a battle mentally also because you don't have no one who understands.
There you go. And
Yeah.
it's difficult when you don't have nobody around you to understand. That's why what helped me was the lupus groups at first. They definitely kind of helped me feel a part of a community again. Uh,
Hmm.
because people can understand when I say, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't go this place." I don't feel good. I can barely get out the bed. Your friends and family look at you like, like you said,
Yeah.
being dramatic. But no, seriously, even if somebody like I have fibromyalgia too, so even if somebody like touch me at times, I'd be like, "Ow!" They might think
Yes.
I'm not like it's
Yeah.
definitely a process, and it's not easy. You definitely need somebody, at least somebody around you that kind of understands you.
Understands. Yes.
And,
Speaking of the touching, I remember when I worked for a wireless company, and it was a storefront, and the
yeah,
guy, one of the managers from corporate, he gave me this firm handshake, and it hurt it, like it hurt it bad, and because I was very sensitive to touch, even with the handshake. And I go,
yeah,
first of all, why is a man firmly gripping me like that? And it was so stern. So when he would come in, I would not shake his hand. And he was so offended by me no longer wanting to shake his hand. But I had to break it down like, sir, I have joint issues. And the last
yeah.
time, you left me in pain. So I'd rather not be in pain right now. So
I know that's
I prefer
right,
not to shake your hand.
right. And
So that was just funny you mentioned that. So yeah.
And during these times, we barely want people to touch our hands, so we want to be careful because any germs, we got to be careful with
Yeah.
our body. So
Yeah.
like, even when 2020 came, it definitely changed me even more. I don't know, how 2020 really affect you, but I feel like it affect a lot of lupus people even worse because now you got to worry about these germs that they say you got to wear a mask, you got to put hand sanitizer on. I'm still big with my hand sanitizer and different things and touching certain things
Mhm.
that just it did something to me because I'm like, I already got lupus. I ain't trying to get, COVID.
Yeah,
I
more.
ain't trying to
Yeah.
get. So it affected me to a point where I'm germophobic in a way, very germophobic because
Hmm.
I easily kind of get respiratory infections. I already have suffered
Yeah.
like sinuses a lot. So anything, I ain't trying to get sick, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
You definitely gotta
hard.
be careful. It is. 2020, that's when I went home
Yeah,
on oxygen. So I wasn't really mobile. Like I really became a homebody. Because I had to have oxygen on at all time. And then wearing, when it was kind of getting better, trying to wear a mask, I felt like I was suffocating. So it was like I couldn't really wear a mask like that. I couldn't
yeah,
walk with it because I have to walk and breathe, and it just seemed like so. I would honestly panic having a mask on because of the shortness of breath and my lung issues. Because they also had, I can't even pronounce the name. So I said, if I can't pronounce it, I don't have it. But I have, I was diagnosed with a lung disease as well. So, so there's a few major diagnoses. But another thing I realized when I went to the rheumatologist's office, and this is why I'm grateful for such your platform, because the awareness of it. When I went into the doctor's office, because lupus, I only know lupus because of Tony Braxton. And
Yeah.
and because I could not relate to it, I really, I heard, she has it. That's one time you would see something in the tabloids about her lupus, whatever. But lupus was nothing like big to discuss or talk about. It seemed like it was so minimal. But when I went to the doctor's office, my first visit at the rheumatologist, I sat around and I looked at the walls. And that's when it settled in. When I was reading all the facts, and it was saying, you know, um,
Yeah.
basically, you know, Black women are the highest amongst those to be diagnosed with lupus. I'm like, what? And it kind of threw me off because I'm like, we don't know this. We don't know that we are large numbers when it comes down to autoimmune diseases. And we have to bring more awareness, to it and how to basically maintain um, your health, because they tell you it's only treatable, but I believe it's curable. But you have to know that for yourself.
Yes. When I was speaking with our other lupus sister on yesterday, I was telling her that, because some people feel like it's no cure, but I feel like it's the cure out there. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, we were speaking on like the organizations and making sure that we go and start getting like testing done. Because more Black people have it, so we need to get like different testing. And like I'm sorry, I kind of strayed away from stuff like that because I feel like they ain't got a cure out there. I believe y'all just doing stuff now. Y'all just want people money. That's just kind of how I'm looking at stuff. Like even going to the doctors all the time, you can't tell me that. Not since you spoke of like the people in the industry and the like Nick Cannon, all of them got lupus. They don't look like they doing too bad. Oh,
Oh,
and money talk, right?
Tree Daddy eating good.
He still having all these kids.
Yeah, it is exactly.
So he
Um,
must have something that we don't know. I'm just saying. He still having all these kids. And when you think that he know if he has this possibility, I mean that he got lupus and it could pass on to his kids, he having I don't know how many kids he got. But
yeah,
I would think like they know some, they get some type of treatment. It's some type of cure right there because they still making it. They still here. Like a lot of people that I'm in a lupus group with, a lot of people passed on. You know what I'm saying? Like that I started journey with, they passed on. They ain't doing too good. I'm
yeah.
not everybody, but I'm just
No, I got it. That's why, honestly, I did the same thing you did because I was trying to find a group that understood. So, of course, the algorithm. You look up lupus, and now on Facebook they have lupus groups here. But I had to unfollow a lot of them. Majority of them. Probably have one because it was becoming again discouraging because it was more of people, um, advocates of people who family members have gone on because of lupus who have no longer here. And
yes,
so it was more of the page. I'm like, God, these are more advocates for it, and a few people who are still living. So that became like that became like a mental thing for me as well too. And then to see the daily struggles that a lot of people would post on there, what they're dealing with, and I tell people our abnormal comes normal to us. We still have to wake up. We still have to take care of our children. A lot of people be like, you don't look like you have lupus. That saying I cannot stand.
I think we all
Um,
agree with that
I
one.
cannot stand. They be like, I have a glow, and I always tell the glow of the Lord that be upon me. But I have a glow. But even with that glow, I don't be feeling well. Like every morning is like the little engine that could. I'm trying like to start my engine
I
to get
feel you.
going, and it's I thank God for my teenager son,
Yes,
but because of my when I went down, and I was married at this time as well to his father, like, hey, you got to learn and get in this kitchen, learn how to cook,
yes,
and he did just that. He became a little chef, So, he helps me out significantly with that, of helping because you need help.
You
You
do.
need help. It was times where I cried because I could not open up a jar of spaghetti sauce.
I,
You
I'm
know,
I'm going through this now. I never been through this like this. I'm going through it now. I can't open my bottle of water. I got to get my fiance to do all that before he leave the
see,
house.
yeah. Yeah, I had to. I stopped buying regular bras for a season. Like I say, these last years I've been doing better. But in the beginning, coach, I'm telling you, it was terrible. I did not sleep in my bed. I had a high bed. I ended up sleeping on my couch about for almost 2 years because I could not get up on
Yes.
my bed.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't snap bras. So I became a sports bra girl. I could
Yeah.
not tie my shoes. So I had to get bigger size shoes where I can slip my feet in, or
Yeah.
shoes that does not have laces to tie up because I couldn't even, bend and do
Mm-hmm.
it's. And I was in my 30s. I'm 41 now.
Yeah.
Diagnosis happened at the age of 30,
Yeah.
and so yeah, so that the joint that was a hard season. I used to sleep in my car
Mm,
before I would have to get the energy to go when I
yes.
stayed in the apartment. I would sleep in my car just to get about 15, 20 minutes of energy to walk to my apartment door. Literally.
I definitely understand. Like it changed you in a blink of an eye. 1 minute you may be doing partially okay. We never 100% okay. You know what I'm saying? But we have our days where okay, we can manage this. But
Yeah.
now I have my days was like, well, this morning I woke up, it was a little better. But each day now, before I touch the floor, I be count like ooh, let me give me. I count to 10 or something to see can I put my foot on the ground because like lately
Yeah.
been in pain. Like ooh, it hurt when I touched the ground. I don't know. I think that may be the neuropathy or whatever going on right now. But as soon as I touch the ground, my feet like I can't hardly walk. So it's a
Yeah.
process. I do want to go back to the groups that you were speaking of.
I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
was big on groups at first, but now I'm just starting back. But since I'm doing this podcast, I also back that I agree with you. I thought I was the only one felt that way. Like it's discouraging. It got discouraging. It definitely got discouraging. And I'm like, especially when you're trying to change at the same time, you're trying to
Yeah.
do better, you're trying to eat better. You don't want to see everybody sick around you, passing away. That was discouraging. I did back away. I
Yeah.
just stopped posting in groups, and
Yeah.
I kind of took myself away out of it. And then since I started this podcast, God just gave me this vision of, what I'm saying, go back to them lupus groups,
Yeah. Now you can go back because you have the strength to go back. You
Yes,
have the capacity to go back. And
yes.
yeah, but in the beginning we didn't have all that. You didn't have that. And it was like, wait, let me back.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but this person passed away yesterday. I don't want me to be tomorrow. I'm just, it
Yeah.
can mess with you mentally. It really can. If you're not strong enough for that, mentally strong enough, you do have to back away at time. It was only good at the moment when nobody around me understood me. So I'm like, okay, he
Correct.
understand me, but when you start seeing people pass away all the time and just doing bad, a lot of times what I don't like to see now is people still doing things that they shouldn't be doing, knowing that they got this lupus. We definitely, like I said, we have to take our time. We ain't gonna be perfect, but you know what I'm saying? Just do your best and don't be doing the same stuff that we don't need to be doing. How can we know we may can cure ourselves one day? We may can heal ourselves one day. I do like I said, I believe it's cures out there. I believe some people have been cured. These people, everybody ain't lying. Everybody not lying.
Mhm.
The CB done cure, people different. You have different herbalists that then help cure people. And I'm definitely praying to be in that number. I'm definitely praying that we all be in that number one day. That
Yes, yes.
we
And it's things like this that will help. It's podcasts, it's awareness, it's talking about it. Like I say, it's not just about women of color, it's about us all, but the education has to go out to the mass of women of color because we don't know. That's the thing
you
about it. We don't know.
we don't.
Just how they have breast cancer screenings and things because I'm like my father read a newspaper article. He's still
Mm-hmm.
old school, so he still read newspaper
Yeah.
when it come out. Where he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Lupus is rising." Like he said, increasing in numbers ever since COVID. And I was like, why is that? I'm like, why all of a sudden since COVID, the
Hmm.
numbers in lupus is rising. Now, it's that's a
Hmm.
whole nother story, a whole nother segment.
I'm trying to tell you, like you just had told me something then. Just like
No,
you said,
it
with the
is.
council
Yeah.
they have screening, they need lupus screenings too. Like we don't know what's going on, and it's for real. Just like they tell you about HIV, we know about AIDS, we know about all this. Tell us about lupus. Also, at the same time, we know about cancer. Tell us about lupus. Don't forget about lupus. We didn't know about lupus. I only
It's
heard like
increasing.
one or two people in my life, like before I got lupus. Like I knew one, no more than two people that I heard about lupus. But I don't think I really noticed was like their skin, and I thought it was just
Yeah.
a skin condition during that time. But it's more than one type of lupus, and you can get these skin conditions. I was suffering from hives when I kind of first found out, about my
Yeah.
lupus, whatever. So it's definitely like it got to be more awareness. I'm thankful that God helped me, help allow me to start this podcast.
Yes.
To be
Yes.
honest, I wasn't even doing it about lupus at first. I was trying to start this women empowerment. I want to bring people together, and it just didn't work out that way. Um,
This
Somebody
is
kind
just
of
one of the avenues that's going to happen. It's just you're
yeah,
starting from this avenue because I was just in a group. What's been interesting, I'm part of a network. I don't know. I get emotional about it because all of a sudden now, like for the last couple of years, God been placing me and I've been meeting young ladies. And they're like,
yeah,
yeah, I just was recently diagnosed with lupus. And I'm like, what is going on? And just the other night, I was in a study, a Bible study. Like it was really a women's uplifting Bible study class we had. But the lady went to talking and she's like, yeah, I was just diagnosed with lupus. And it's what I'm starting to hear that's becoming of the norm.
yeah.
And so it does like this is women's empowerment
It
because it's
is.
about our body. It's about our bodies and it's how to take care of it mentally, physically. Your faith is your faith, but for those who to also encourage concerning that as well. So this is women's empowerment. You're just doing it through, a different avenue.
Yeah,
Definitely grateful because I don't do stuff like that. So really I'm starting to try to get open because what we're
yeah,
going through should not be in vain,
yes,
and we have to speak up for those who have gone, before us who could not make it and has
you
not made it this far. So, this is women's empowerment.
You're right. I definitely was saying that to myself yesterday. We have to be the voice for those that have gone on, those who can't fight, those who's in the hospital. Though, we still got strength, whatever we got, if we just got a voice. And that's what I told God. Like, I'm not getting emotional, but everything started messing up on me. I was just going to the gym, being able to, do things. I'm not saying I didn't feel no pain, but it was manageable. Now, like lately, it haven't been as manageable, so I can't walk like I used to walk as much.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, grabbing things. Like I said, I can barely open something, so I ain't finna go to the gym and knowing, I'm hurting myself worse. So it's like we have to be advocates for these people. I said, if you just give me
Mhm.
if I just got my voice, then let me use that. And I think that's
Yeah.
I think things have to happen for a reason at times. I
Yeah.
don't I don't think he just want me in pain, but he's trying to push me to my purpose. And sometimes he's trying to
Yes.
you to your purpose. Another lupus person say, it's a purpose. We ain't living this just for ourselves. It's many people out there. You do have a few men that also have lupus. That's not talked about
Hmm.
enough. But we do know it's way more women, and especially
Yeah.
women of color that has this. So it need to be testing for everyone, to
Yeah.
find out. And now I feel like if that happened more can be done and then we could find a cure because like okay if all these people got it but
Hmm.
I'm finding so many connections with talking to different people and I'm listening to their stories and I'm like wow it's so much kind of connection going on with the similarities that we have and the symptoms
Correct.
we go through
Yeah.
like this open doors
It
um
does. Yeah. Learning to omit and then supplement. That's what I'm learning as well too. Omit certain
yeah
foods, but just don't omit it. Replace them. I also do a lot of essential oils because instead of doing the inhaler for my, that steroids at the end of the day
yes
for my pump, I use peppermint oil. I'll put one right up on my and it comes down my shortness of breath. So I got accustomed to doing essential oils as well too. And every now and then, for instance, I'll go to the pharmaceutical drug, but I'm
Yes.
not going to take it every day. I'm not going to
I
take it.
agree.
My doctors did not get along with me because of that. And again,
Yes.
you have to know your body because, like you said in the beginning, when I was taking these pharmaceutical meds,
Yes.
I started noticing other things like in my body. I listened to my body, and I'm like, something ain't right. And then I go get a test done, and my liver numbers are low.
Signs.
And
Okay.
then and then they'll take me off of the most recent med I was using. More blood work. Wait a few weeks, number goes back up.
Wow.
So yeah, y'all. So don't put that one in my face again because I'm not taking it. I was
Hmm.
on a drug that cost about $27,000 a month. Thank God for medical insurance, but just the fact that this cost almost 30 grand a month,
Yes.
the
And then you
numbers add up to the year. I was like, so I had to tell them, hey, y'all, stop sending me this because I'm not doing it as y'all want me to do. And being that it costs this much, I don't want to waste you all's money because it caused me, it was a breathing, tool, but it would
yes.
wet up inside my mouth. And I would have like webs in my tongue, webs around, in my gums, things of that nature. So even though I'm using this med, I can barely eat. I couldn't drink nothing acidic, eat nothing that has acid in it. I love pineapples. I couldn't eat pineapples.
Yes.
Um, so I never tell nobody to just stop taking your drugs. Don't do that. So always consult with a doctor. But when you learn how to holistically detox your body, toxins and things of that nature, um, test your own self out. Go on a detox. Follow. You have plans. People get one of your plans and follow that, and then
Yes.
request blood work before you do one of your plans, and then have them to do blood work after it, and see
Yes.
the numbers change. That's all I'm saying.
That's great information. That's definitely great information. We definitely have to, like I said, learn our bodies because if we don't know, the doctors tell us anything. And like you mentioned about your liver, yours was going, your numbers was dropping, mine was going up. So I'm like, basically the medicine I'm taking because they telling me slow, like don't take so much of like pain medications and
Mhm.
aspirin, different things. That's basically what I need every day. I was on like a lot of medication. I was definitely on narcotics, and different things. So I knew I've been wanting to remove myself from certain medications because once you get dependent on some of the medications, it's hard. If they
Yeah.
stop medications, you start having what is it? I'm sorry, you start having withdrawals and all types
Yeah.
of other things that go along with it. And the
Mhm.
medication that you saying there's so much money, just think what if you depended on that medication and then your medical like your medical whatever insurance you have got cut off and you can't
Oh,
afford
bad.
it. I think about all of that type of stuff. Like it's costly, and even though people may think that eating healthy costs a lot, it depends on what you're eating for real. It don't always have to cost a lot, but think about your medical bills. Think about how much if you got lupus, taking all these medications, can't whatever you're going through, the treatment's gonna cost more at the doctors than it will at the
Yeah. Yeah.
grocery store, at the farm or whatever. Like
You just got, like you said, you have to know how to shop it. That's why, when I help a few people out, when I with the juicing and stuff, they're like juicing costs a lot. Cause you want to add like 8,000 things into the juicer and not everything produce a lot of juice. But
yes,
I give them a couple ingredients and I say, hey, these are good. Research it, see what's anti-inflammatory, and listen, like I learned things by reading.
yes.
Googling, comparing what I Google. Google is my thesaurus. Today's encyclopedias. Back in the day, yeah,
You're my best friend.
yeah. So, and I compare. I just don't go with the first source, but I start connecting them, and I say, okay, and then you learn your blends. Not everybody's going to have the same type of plan, but you
Yes,
have to get an idea. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? So that's why I do believe in investing. If you don't know, like the things that you offer is a good investment for a person who's just beginning and don't know how to
true.
start. You got to start from somewhere. We invest what we want to invest in.
You
At the end
got
of the
it.
day.
You're
At
right.
the end of the day,
You're right. And
we.
that's learning it. And
Mhm.
sometimes we have to like say if we love, we know we like to go shopping. We may have to limit our shopping for like clothes or shoes. Get your herb. I had to learn like now, boy. I'm definitely gonna purchase my herbs. I may have to put some else
Mhm.
aside because I
Mhm.
need my herbal supplements. I need it. I don't even, I don't take medications no more. I gotta have my herbs. But that's like with anything, regardless, we have to a lot of our people, some of my people of color, they love Jordans. They'll go invest in stuff like that, but they come question about, oh, why this price here?
Yeah.
Like you don't mind going to pay for some
Yes.
shoes.
Yes, we got to get that mindset. Like
Thank
you want to
you.
live longer, because Jordan, he
Mentality.
well off. He well off right now.
He definitely is. He living
Yeah.
off of their money. So I'm just saying it's not that serious. Invest in something that we really need that's gonna help us like in the long term. Even if you
Yeah.
don't have any diseases right now or going through nothing. Get yourself together now so you won't have to in the future. We all gotta get older. Our bones get, brittle and different things. We have to be
Mhm.
careful. At the end of the day, if you don't have any problems, learn from us because we all got to go through some one day. You
Yeah.
before you leave this earth,
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And we have to start talking to our younger crowd, our younger
Yes,
ladies, because
you're right.
I know you have did research on the food, so I know and the food is killing us a lot, like the processed type stuff.
You're
And
right.
then to encourage them, hey, okay, if you eat that, still try to get some type of daily detox in. Cut some lime and lemon in your water. It be little nuggets that we can start sharing to tell them so they can have a daily cleanse. Because the more that stuff sits and fester in our bodies, that's what's creating the flare up
You
of these autoimmune diseases.
you're right. I'm happy you mentioned that. You definitely mentioned something great. We definitely have to reach the younger generation, let them know. Sometimes when you so up in age, you can't tell everybody nothing or whatever. We think we know it
Yeah,
all. So hopefully we can. I mean, hopefully we can touch all, but especially a younger generation because they gotta raise our other generation up.
right.
So we want them to do what's right, even with the kids. It's not just lupus; it's ADHD, all types of things
All
that
of that. Yes.
is like autism, all types of things that I think that can probably be avoided or more manageable if we
Manageable. Yes. Yes.
if they eat the right foods, remove the all them dyes, candy, junk food. I'm still a little guilty with my son because I'm not the only one like that feed him. I wish I can give him all this just this plant based meal, but it ain't gonna work. you know, but he is picky on what he eat. He's limited. He don't eat burgers and then like that, but he loves chicken. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
say get him whatever he want, pretty much. So it's kind of hard, but if you
It
can,
is. Yeah, it's challenging when you have children and or significant others, and the spouse be like, I ain't got that, so they customly eat in a certain way. So
yes, I think, and that's what's been going through my head. I think I used to remember my mama saying like, "Well, that's you that have an illness. Everybody don't have this illness, but I still look at it like you can still get sick. I
exactly.
still got to be careful with certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like just because I have it, I still like I was careful with I still was careful with my kids. I had got them to a point where it was my oldest ones. They was eating less of processed food, junk food
Hmm.
every day, more healthy. I got them on that journey. I can't say what they doing now, but I
Yeah.
did start that. And I'm glad that my son, even if he is not eating 100% healthy right now, he see what his mama doing every day. He see his mama buying the fruits and vegetables. I still offer it to him. I try to give him some. I try to get him to take certain things. Teas. If he's sick, he gonna ask me, "Mama, can you give me some tea?"
Yeah.
He ain't
Yeah.
gonna do it first, but it's the small, the little things
Yeah.
that does count, and the kids gonna watch that. So when they get older, they're gonna be like, and even if they get sick of anything, they're gonna be like, "Well, this is what my mama did. This is what my dad
Hmm.
did." So and he may do it for his future kids. So I
Yeah.
at
And
least tried.
and just
Mm-hmm.
for the young women, because I had my daughter at 24 weeks. And she was born at 1 pound. So we know also with lupus, it's high birth
Yeah,
defects, premature labors, things of that nature.
yes,
And so that's another reason why awareness is important if you're still living to looking to give birth and wanting to have children, you got to get that body right,
Right.
to be able to. Because, like I say, she was born at 24 weeks. There's nothing but, saying the grace of God that we're still here. Because I lost a lot of blood
Yes.
and things of that sort. But it had a lot to do with the autoimmune, the lupus. Is that's what it causes. So we have to think about those things to be able to
Mm-hmm.
prevent, to
You
prevent some of these things from happening.
you are so right. You said your youngest is 2, right? Is
No,
that
5.
5? But
Ooh,
I mean,
don't put me back there. Yeah.
okay, I understand because my son is 6, but it's still a blessing. And some people think that they can never have kids after getting lupus, but as you see, you still was able to have a child. I'm still able to have a child. Not saying it's gonna be easy. I wouldn't lie to you, it's
Mhm.
not easy.
No, it's not. You gotta rest. You understand that? That's why I've got to wear, because it's things with lupus, having children. You gotta take it way more cautious and easier than
Yeah,
those who have not been diagnosed with certain diseases. Yeah.
you are
But
so
it's
right.
possible. Yeah, I'm still further, girl. I'm trying, hey, tie my tubes. So yeah, I'm fine. It's not easy, but no, like you can still give birth. You can
Yeah.
still get pregnant. That's not gonna be a downfall.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, we just have to learn how to manage, and after we even have them kids, and like you said, even before, we have to make sure we get the right food in our system, the right vitamins, the right nutrients, whatever we need in that process, uh,
Yeah.
and continue to stay prayed up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, are there any organizations or communities that you recommend for people seeking support or information about lupus?
Yes, Miss Divine Coach Quilla.
Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate
honestly, I haven't, outside. That's what I joined. I joined you a while back, and I think it's when you was right starting to take off with your followers was the plant based, because that's why I was trying to get more ideas and
Oh,
watch other people's testimony concerning the plant based. So
yeah,
that's what. And then when you said lupus as well, oh, and she got so I like, because like I said, it's the plant based that caught my eye, and then you being diagnosed. And I'm sorry, I like to say diagnosed. I never like to claim on anybody. So being diagnosed with lupus. So honestly, I can say this here, and this is the only community right now. The rest of them, like I say, it was just a little too much. So maybe
yeah,
like you said, yourself going back into them. But I really wouldn't recommend just any of them too tough
true.
if they don't have someone who's kind of like giving the brighter side of things. Majority of them are not really giving the brighter side of it.
And that's why
So
my group is holistic living with, like lupus,
yeah,
autoimmune disease, because I wanted a positive. And then, I didn't want, you can't, if you're going to be in groups, don't just sit there all day and dwell, you know what I'm saying? Don't dwell
you're
in.
gonna get depressed. You're going to get depressed.
You really will. So
Yeah.
that's why I did start joining more plant-based health groups. I
Hmm.
started doing something that's gonna help me, uplift me. You don't even see you stop seeing. Well, a lot of people probably stop seeing me announce lupus and saying, I wanted to get away from it. Like, to be honest, I don't even want to like. And then, a lot of people always say, don't claim lupus, don't claim lupus. A lot of times I didn't understand. Back in the day, I remember like my months, you don't claim it, and I didn't want to claim, but I'm like, I'm sick, I got lupus.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge it, and that's why I say the diagnosis with it. But when you look up autoimmune, you look at the other autoimmune diseases, and then you start looking at everybody's story. Like, listen, it's kind of all this connects. So
Yeah,
sometimes, and I've been misdiagnosed. So that's why I
yeah,
always say diagnosed. Something's going on,
yes.
and they put a name to it.
Yes. And I feel
So
like they still don't know everything. They don't know. I feel like some of them know about a cure, but they don't know everything what's going on. Because I was missed. I mean, they kept telling me I didn't have lupus at first. Even though
mhm.
my ANA was positive, it's like I have Sjogren's. Don't just stop at one doctor. One doctor, go get. If you feel like that doctor is not telling you what you need to hear, or go
Mhm.
seek another opinion, another doctor
Yeah.
out, because that's what I had to do. I didn't stop. It took me to get to like the fourth the fourth rheumatologist doctor before they
Four.
not yes, before you
Wow.
finally said you got lupus. It took 4 doctors.
Wow.
I mean, rheumatologist. That's what I'm gonna say. But they did tell me
Yeah.
I had shoulder, but I'm like all these other symptoms I'm having, and I'm and
Yeah.
they positive. Like, come on. They was like, well, it could take years to be diagnosed with this and that. Like, don't
And
give
that's
up.
what we have to fix. That the length time of years. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Like the screening for it, because I do have a cousin in medical field, and I kind of was venting one day about the
yeah.
awareness of it. She said, "Well, it kind of," she says, "hard to detect." How? I mean, maybe I don't understand,
I
but
don't
it's
either.
like they get the right blood, do the right blood work. How did you arrive to I have me having lupus diagnosis? How you arrived to that? That's where you start from. This is the type of testing we gave her. This is how we diagnose, concerning the white blood cell count. That's low, things of that nature. So if somebody has, if y'all know some of the triggers of it, then that's when you start doing the testing for it. I don't know. That's what we got to change the length of time it takes to diagnose
You
lupus
are
and
so
autoimmune.
so right. It takes too long, and I feel like that's how some people end up passing on at times because they didn't know what they had. They kept saying they
Hmm.
probably didn't have lupus or ain't nothing wrong with you. I
Yeah.
feel like we also should get screened in like every couple of years or something. Even if you don't
Yeah.
have it need to be something done because more studies definitely have to be done on it. I do believe they, like I said, they know something. Man. I'm just all this technology, they know something. They know something, but in order to get the help we need, we got to advocate for ourselves. We got to
Yes,
do things
ma'am.
like this in the community,
Yeah.
um, most definitely. So, what are your hopes for the future regarding lupus research and treatment advancement?
My hopes for it, honestly, as we just previously discussed, to bring more awareness and curable treatments, you know,
Yes,
that brings, about cures.
yes,
Getting a real dietitian, because it's a change of lifestyle. So
true.
more holistic ways to treat things as well too. As they're, again, this is my opinion. I
Yes,
believe they already know that it can be cured. When I say they, the pharmaceutical world, as far as
I.
love, I just, that's my belief in it. So it's not too much in that system. It's
Mhm,
the system that you're creating and others are creating, and myself, that would like to, have hands. I do mine more like in my community, like, speaking, having small groups discussion about
mhm.
awareness concerning autoimmune diseases as a whole. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, we probably talk more offline. 'Cause, it's certain things they don't want you to know. I truly believe, honestly, just it's a business. You all, it's a
wrong
business.
with you? 'Cause you talking it real. You talking it
Yeah,
real. That's what I
because
like to
you
hear
know
because that's
what?
how I feel.
It's because of what I went through. Like, cause
Yes,
like it's really like God has given me the strength. You see this glow, but
yeah,
man, but it like the fact that my life changed just so quick, and what it did to me, and the fact that they didn't really have too much to get to me, but they try to shove all this pharmaceutical drugs and this and that. I'm
exactly.
30 with, my son was younger than, of course. Um, it was just a lot. I'm an active person. I did every sport. I love dance. I was a cheer coach. Towards my last year of coaching, I couldn't get on the ground and show these girls how to stretch. I couldn't. It was so much the handicap. So yeah, I got mad about it. You know what I'm saying? So me
Yes.
getting mad made me go search about it, find out about it, because unfortunately, even people of our
Mm-hmm.
background that's in that pharmaceutical world, they
It's
probably was some of
questionable.
my worst experiences, to be honest with you.
Yes, it's like I feel like they treat us like guinea pigs. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh no, definitely. I listen. I told them y'all gonna keep making me a guinea pig. I'm not your lab
But you,
rat. That no, literally, like I used to give them. I know we got to wrap it up, but seriously, my hospital visit, that's why I'm advocate. Know your body, know for yourself, because in my hospital visit, when they walk into the room with some of us, they judge automatically and they start treating you right. But the minute I go speaking, they change their whole attitude. I'm one of them that knows a little something, something. You
Mm-hmm.
can't let them know you know everything. I mean, not everything, but you can't let them know all what you know. But you
Yes.
have to let them know because they're not going to treat you. You're in this bed. You're getting poked, pricked. Just it's the experience alone. So I'm already trying to be as strong as I can in here. You're not
Mm.
going to come in here and
Yes.
treat me less than because
You're right.
diagnosis you gave my body. You know.
I agree.
So yeah, they don't like to see me coming sometimes in the hospitals because like I don't just bow down to what they say. I know certain things. I'm not just like a terrible patient. It's definitely not like because the nurses they love me, but when it comes down to the doctors, they try to force certain things on you, and if you tell
Mm-hmm.
them, hey, with my history, that didn't work, so I'd rather not do that. Instead of them saying, okay, let's find that, they kind of try to give you some backlash regarding you
Yeah.
wanting to protect your body.
Yes.
So that's what I want to see more of us standing up for our own bodies,
True.
concerning this and bringing more awareness and teaching or
Mm-hmm.
providing resources for them to try. You do what works for you. You can
Yes.
have a daily regimen that may not work for me, but
True.
I can get a few nuggets from what you do and say, but hey, this worked for me. Not your
Yeah.
whole regimen, but this part did. So I'm going to add it to what I currently do. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. And then we share with each other,
You
share. Don't gatekeep what is holding, what's helping you cure and things of that nature. Now
true.
let's not get out there and don't go talking like, we really don't know what we're talking about. You have to know. And this took
Yeah.
years. Like you say, you want to get away from it, but I believe God is now calling to the forefront because you had to go through a little more to get where
Yes.
He has you to come from. And most
Yeah.
of the time when we run from something, that means we are to do it.
Yeah, like Jacob running from the wheel.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so that's all just to be more vocal in our community.
Yes, and I'm grateful that I did do that. I
Yeah.
answered his call, and I I was like, wow, it should be May. So I'm like, okay, it's lupus awareness. So okay, let me go to the community and see if anybody wanna, get in on this podcast and speak about lupus. Let's spread
Yeah.
awareness. And I seen how many people was willing. Like I
Yeah.
was shocked. Like, wow, this is the women
Yeah.
empowerment. This
Exactly. Yes, you're doing it.
I didn't have to force nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's like they willingly participate. So I'm like, okay, this is definitely got to be my calling, because they come in it. I don't have to beg. With the women empowerment, I feel like I had to beg certain people, and I don't want to have to
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
with.
only because there's so many of those. It's so
Yeah,
many of those kind of that's going in. You get into one and it's like, this is not really what I want. But
yeah,
you put a topic to the women's empowerment. And
yeah.
now that the lupus is going to open up different doors
You're right.
concerning what we could talk about. Now we could talk about household and the parenting that comes with it. And so it's gonna take off to different discussions, you
You
know.
got that right. You definitely got that right. Like you spoke on some great topics. I'm definitely happy that you got on here today because you're able to spread more awareness about the holistic, trying to like speak up for yourself when you go into these
Yeah.
doctors. I don't like hospitals either. I've been stopped going to the hospitals because one last time I went, I think I snatched all the stuff out of me and just got up out of there because
Get
I
there.
don't
Yeah, I hit
feel
that
bad.
point.
For
Yeah.
real. Like when they put certain stuff in you, it just feel like I felt like stuff was crawling in me. I didn't like
Yeah.
the feeling. I got up out of there. I stopped going because one thing that they had is red. Sometimes they'll flag your account. They feel like you just coming in there for pain medicine or something like that. I got lupus. Of course I'm coming for something that help my pain, like and so like I got
People don't understand that. Like it could be everyday thing. And I tell people when we
yes,
get a little common cold, that can last 2 to 3 days. It's that recovery. That
yes.
recovery takes weeks.
Yes, it's not the
Yeah.
same as like when a normal person who's healthy get a cold. It's
Yeah.
different. It's like we got the flu or something. So that's why I say I'm very kind of even when I get in the car behind my fiance or anybody, I'm wiping down because like
Yeah.
he work, where he work around a lot of people. So I'm just have to be careful. Like I get
You
tired of
do.
it, you know.
Yeah.
And even when my son coming home, I want to make sure that he's straight, whatever, wash your hands, do whatever you got to do because you're right now with kids. Like it's difficult. Then when you got your whole house sick, it been a couple times, and I don't know if it's COVID or whatever. I don't go to the hospital like that no more. The doctors. So even I try to, I basically do all the health healing at home with my
Mm-hmm.
son, with my fiance. You know what I'm saying? I try to give them everything they need because they know I don't deal with that hospital like that. So I'm gonna do what I got to do at home for you, and it definitely helped. It may
Mm-hmm.
not help like overnight or whatever process, but you got to be you got to do it constantly. Just like if you're taking regular medication, if you're gonna do herbs, you may got to take your herbs every 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what you got to do. So that's what
Yeah.
I replace
Yeah.
my medicine with my herbs, and it's working for me. Like I'm out to bed right now, so it's
Consistency.
working.
Yeah. I struggle with consistency, so that's another thing you could talk about on the next podcast. Consistency. That kind of that's where I struggle with. Because it's the consistency.
Consistency with lupus. How we gonna figure out something? We gonna come back. I definitely gotta bring you back.
Yeah.
I definitely do. So, our final thoughts. What message would you like to leave our listeners about? About living with lupus.
Um, I will continue to repeat myself: self awareness, self educate, and find a support system that can relate.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely appreciate you for coming
Thank
out.
you so much for having me.
And we appreciate, thank you. And I definitely see more coming to the community about this lupus awareness and whatever else that we coming is women empowerment. We definitely got to get back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I pray that you have a blessed day and
You as
that
well.
your yes, and that they find a cure, that we all get a cure one day.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And hey, we could be a part of that finding.
Yes, most definitely. And it will happen. So I appreciate you for spreading awareness and you have a blessed week.
You as well. You take care.
Same to you.
All right.